to my channel. My name is Alex R, and today I'm guilty. I'm guilty of a great sin. The sin of being an ignoramus. I have been caught red-handed, and as the days grow short, I will have to wrestle with my long shadow and face my demons, specifically the demon of being an ignoramus. I'm making this video about two very old forces in the world, in our world as human beings. They are a bit like twins, and it's everybody's job to live in balance between these two forces. And I'm guilty of tipping the scale and living in imbalance. These two forces are ways of thinking, and they're classic. That is figurative thinking and literal. In the spirit of confession, I confess that figurative thinking is my bias, because I am a figurative thinker. This is sometimes called abstract thought, and it involves play and wrestling with multiple layers of meaning in any given word or statement, and thus it underpins much of the arts, memes, humor, all sorts of things. Literal thinking, its brother, is where things get tricky, because it's important to think literally about the world. That's helpful all the time. It's important, if you get in a car, to think literally about the car and not view it as a metaphor, and to just get in it and operate it safely. But literalism is also like an annoying little brother that is consistently bursting my bubble of joy constantly. To be fair, if you are too much of a figurative thinker, you will lose touch with reality and consequences. However, if you are too much of a literalist thinker, you will lose touch with your sense of diversity and humor. Quite literally, you will lose your sense of delight, and that's just not okay. So, I'm going to tell you how I am guilty of a really large imbalance and an overindulgence in literalism and intolerance. But first, I want to say that, funny enough, I find that literalism tends to be the language of the hater. The hater. So, you can extend that logically and understand that I've been guilty of being a hater. I won't talk about that, but I want to talk about other people, other haters, a little bit, to help make my point. I've really encountered two types of haters on the internet, both of them literalists. Two types of haters, And there are many types that I've seen all around the internet, usually literalists, but I want to talk about these two. The first hater, a bit of your level 1 literalist, is very easy to spot and very easy to respond to. I've only gotten 3 in my time on the internet, which is good. But they say the same thing, these 3 level 1s. They say, are you a man or are you a woman? Well, usually with some type of emoji or some vulgarity in an emoji or something. So, in this case, we can assume that the person is politically or socially very literal and very rigid, and so because they have no tolerance, I trigger their rigidity, and they must express their discomfort in the comments. Level 1 literalists are consequently very easy to identify and respond to. I block them, and then they are gone, vanished from the environment, burned away like dust. Level 2 literalists are slightly a little more disguised, but still antagonistic, so they will take everything personally and literally. So, for example, if you were to make a mukbang video, you're eating a variety of mini cheeseburgers, their comment might read, I don't like chewing sounds. They just gross me out. And of course, many of us see a comment like that and think, why are you watching the video? Why are you commenting? Why can't you engage with the concepts of genre and context in order to arrive at the conclusion that this piece of media falls into a category for which you are not the audience? There has been a failure to engage with multi-variable meaning, and thus the literalist becomes uncomfortable and must express their discomfort. I'm going to deliver a brutal truth here. A brutal truth. In the animal kingdom, have you seen March of the Penguins? Have you seen that movie? Okay, in the penguin world, why that movie is so hard to watch is that if you cannot keep up with the group, you fall behind. And as the penguins march across the frozen tundra, some of them are left behind. In the human worlds, that happens as well. In both examples of the hater that I used, they've been left behind, and if anything, their comment is a vocal cry for attention and for the group to hopefully turn around and accommodate them. So, in the person commenting, are you a man or are you a woman? I have to think that if I am where you get confused or disappointed by the vast complexities of gender expression, good luck navigating the rest of 2024 and the culture that we all share. Good luck, right? for the person who comments, I don't like chewing videos, on a chewing video, they've been left behind by the immediate reality because the chewing video has happened. They are watching it. And so the muck banging, the muck has already been mucked. It's there, so I know in society we are taught empathy, and we are taught that if somebody is bullying you or lashing out, we're supposed to look upon that with a kind of righteousness, of kind of like empathy. Oh, maybe they're going through something, or they had something happen to them in childhood. I don't believe this. I don't believe it. I believe that some people are just afflicted with literalism and the rigidity that is literalism's main symptom. And I am the penguin, just I will turn around and wave goodbye. Like, if you just good luck navigating the rest of culture for the rest of your life. It seems a bit beyond help, and I pride myself on being this person, this like open-minded and progressive, and like I'm so flexible mentally, but I have caught myself being afflicted with literalism, and I am guilty, and I am, as a result, in certain areas, I have been left behind, and the train is leaving me at the station, and everyone else is inside waving me goodbye. So, oh no, what's going on here? Well, I find myself living in this cultural hub, this massive city full of museums and institutions, and one of them, these institutions, the National Portrait Gallery, my girlfriend wanted to go and see the artist Francis Bacon's paintings, and she told me about this exhibit and about the artist, and I looked it up. I never heard of him, so I looked it up, and I saw his paintings, and I was like, oh, ew, I don't like these. The colors are kind of gross. I don't know, they just don't look good. And that was my final word on it. Until my girlfriend was like, yeah, that might be the point. And I said, well, even if it's the point, I don't want to look at an ugly painting. I don't want to go. Or like, I'd go, but it looks ugly. And she said, Francis Bacon was gay. He was a gay man living in a highly turbulent time in Europe, and that is probably reflected in his choices as a painter. And I was like, I have realized in the course of our relationship that I am the biggest hater of art, and oh my gosh, the theater makes me gag. Slam poetry makes me actually writhe in pain. I'm just a big hater of the arts. I'm a huge hater of the arts. I actually found an article once, and I read something that was like, wow. The author writes that those suffering from literal mindedness tend to see things only for what they are. are on the surface. They cannot see things as representative of other things. They need to have ambiguities resolved down into single, clear-cut meanings. They overlook dual meanings and other paradoxes. Immediately, this reminds me of, are you a man or are you a woman? They need to have all ambiguity, the ambiguity, resolved down into single, clear-cut meaning. Genius, the sense that they lack a genuine sense of humor and will laugh at your joke only if they understand ahead of time what category of humor it is intended to fall into. I pride myself on holding the torch of the figurative torch, right? Like, I make ASMR videos that often rely on creative and emotional expression to get my point across. And in this example, I was looking at a picture of the Pope, a painting that Francis Bacon did of the Pope, and I look at it and I said, I don't need to see it in person. It looks kind of gross. I have been an ignoramus, and I am guilty, because the truth of the matter is that I don't need to like his art or theater or slam poetry, but I should only arrive at those conclusions after having approached those things with an open mind and employed my tools of open-mindedness and my ability to understand multi-layered context. So, I'm going to go to the National Portrait Gallery, and I'm going to look at the paintings, and I'm going to open my world and expand my world. I'm going to encounter them and have them change me or allow them to change me. I also bought a used book of British poems, English poems that are very old. And I'm going to encounter poetry and read poetry and again allow myself to be changed by it. Something new. I'm gonna go see a theater show because some of the best theater in the world is here. Why not? So I'm really going to challenge myself to stop being a hater. And I wanted to make this video as a bit of a stake in the ground, like, I commit to figurative thinking, I commit, and I reject the ignoramus behavior that I have been engaging in, because nothing happened to me in my childhood that would make me bully Francis Bacon's art and make fun of his art. I have just been afflicted with literalism, and I can heal my affliction through play and creativity and positivity. So, haters have no excuse. You either keep up with the group or you get left behind. And I do feel, in many ways, that clinging onto one way of thinking as your entire framework for how you see the world will cause you to be left behind. And that is a bit of a brutal truth. Do you hear the birds? The birds are waking up in the world, just as I've crawled out of my cave, the Plato's cave of shadow. I crawl out, I hear the birds, they're singing to me, they're singing, Alex, come out. It'll be okay. Slam poetry, it's alright. I must break this chain. The level 1 literalist is scared of me and my queerness. And here I am, terrified of some other queer person's slam poetry. When will it end? It ends with me, and it ends with all of us doing our duty to grow up a little bit and eat the broccoli. You know what I mean? Eat the broccoli. That's really what I had to say today, and something I wanted to talk about as we move into Halloween this week. I think about the real horrors, the real ghosts. This is my ghost shirt. See, he has a bow tie, and the bow tie is 3D. See, it's like the real horrors of this world is the tendrils of our human nature, which reach out into the abyss blindly and touch others. The real horror is losing sight of who we are, losing sight of our connection to other people, to other things, to the universe itself. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful Halloween and get in touch with the horrors of your own life.